Hello everyone, That Texan Collector here, and today we will be looking at this General Electric Vortalex 16-inch oscillating fan, manufactured in 1950. This is one of the most popular antique fans, and they made them for a very long time, I believe starting in 1938 and then ending in 1963, I think. But across several different design changes and color changes and appearance differences, but this one is a later one. I picked this one up off of out of a swap meet sometime last year for about 50 bucks. I figured it was worth it because this is in pretty nice shape for its age. The cage still has most of its chrome plating. Not really much is missing. Only thing is some of the bars are broken on some of the welds, but that's pretty easy to fix. Just a little tack weld or even solder would fix that. The color on the blade and all around the fan is in very nice shape. It's definitely showing its age, but there's barely, if at all, any rust on it, so that's really nice. It still has the plastic cap that covers the blade hub, which those are prone to breaking and going missing on these Vortalex fans. But this one's overall in really nice shape. Honestly, is complete, minus the felt covering on the base. That's easy to fix. The fan is 3-speed. That's how these later ones are. I want to say that's a bakelite switch knob. I'm not exactly sure. It might just be plastic, but has the screw type oscillator where you just screw down the little nut on the top. It says N with the arrow showing you which direction to apply it. But this fan is really nice. This is actually the nicest Vortalex I have in my collection. One of two. My other one is a 1940s or late 1930s one, but it's a 10-inch, and I got that a long time ago from a actual fan repairman who lived in East Texas at the time, but it was just a display model because it was destroyed. The blade is all out of whack and out of balance, and it's just a mess. It's like it took a fall in its life. But the blade on this one, in comparison, is still super straight. Has a tiny little wobble, but still very impressive. It's held up this long, since that's another issue these Vortalex fans are known to having, is the blades falling out of whack and out of balance. But the cord, I don't know if it's original. It feels like it is, but it has like one of those industrial or commercial plug ends you put on. Not sure if that's original or not, but that's how I found it. Well, enough talking. I guess we'll start up on low. The badge likes to do that sometimes. The little crimps on the back aren't squeezed down exactly how they should. It's a nice low speed for a 16-inch. Another issue these Vortalexes are prone to having is a buzzy motor. Well, the varnish on the windings deteriorates over time, and the motors get very buzzy and loud on these. But this one seems to be holding up pretty well because, you know, as you saw, it really only buzzes on startup, and then it kind of evens out as it runs. Show it oscillating. I guess I could have shown it, but head wire's in really nice shape. Oscillator still could use some touch up, but it was a lot worse whenever I first got it. And the neck does pivot back and forth with that wing nut you can adjust. I have it kind of proportioned right here because with the angle of the neck it sits, it wants to kind of free roam whenever it's not oscillating. Bump it up to medium. That badge was not making noise whenever I pulled this out to test it before I started filming, but then it decided to announce its presence. But I really love this fan. This fan runs very well. I'm happy to have a very nice Vortalex compared to the other one, like I was saying, that I got originally years ago from that fan shop. But this is definitely a keeper for a long time. I love it. Show oscillating on medium now. Compared to the Emerson fans of the time, these definitely were a noble competitor to the Emersons. A lot of people say the Emersons moved more air than these, but I honestly want to say they're about neck and neck with, I'd say, an Emerson 79 series, because those also move more air. In my case, I'd say a 77 series Emerson, like the big flower petal blade, tend to move a little bit more air than these, I would say, but all of them move great air for antiques. And this was kind of a, I guess you could say, benchmark fan for GE with that Vortalex blade design that has the pronounced tip. So these are definitely a lot quieter than the Emersons, I would say. Emerson 79 series fans, I would say. The 77s are pretty quiet. Possibly a little bit quieter than these, I would say, but these are still very quiet. And here's high. Yeah, like I was saying, these are very impressive fans. They made these from, I believe, a 9-inch version all the way up to a 36 industrial size version, like the big Emerson I have, that size. And just like Emerson, they had ceiling mounted ones, pedestal ones, and tabletop ones. So, really cool. Show it oscillating on high now. This thing cranks out a lot of air on high. Definitely a quieter high speed compared to Emerson's. Or really most antiques. I keep comparing them to Emerson's, but there was a lot out there. My Fasco Arctic Air from the same era, the 1950s, was definitely a lot louder than this on high. And we'll go ahead and shut it down. I added oil to this when I first got it, even though it didn't really need it. I just went ahead and did it anyway, because you never know when the last time it had it. But these do have the oil wick right there. You unscrew that little silver bit right there, and you little cup that pops out with the spring and a wick in it, and you fill that up with oil. And the spring tension keeps the wick against the bearing surface and keeps it lubricated. So this one has a nice long spin down, but that's really it. This is the 1950 General Electric Vortalex 16-inch oscillating fan. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.